Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hi. What an exciting night we have planned. We are going to spend some time with friends that are joining us for our Flashback Thursday. And every last Thursday of the month, we have Flashback Thursday, where we talk about something that isn't so much here anymore, that we maybe grew up with. Anyways, today we have guests. But before then, I just want to welcome everybody. I don't think I'm going to be able to personally say hello to everybody like we have normally on the Romper Room in the past because we have so much to do. But I want to thank our wonderful moderators. Thank you so much. You guys are always amazing. And thank you just everybody for coming in. We've got people from across the world that come in. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we're pretty excited to have some fun people on here. So we've got Kermudge in Alaska. Oh, yeah. No, exactly. Sorry. Okay. We've got Kermudge in Alaska, Rob and Sarah. Rob and Sarah, like from the beginning of our channel, literally, they were early on supporters of us. And we are so grateful for you guys because like they've always been so kind to us.
Yep.
I mean, we didn't have a lot going on early on, but
Still
didn't matter. They were always supporting us, and we're going to add these friends of ours.
Hey!
Hi.
You are.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice. Thank you. It's good to see you guys tonight.
Good to see you guys as well.
How are you doing out in the wilds of Alaska this evening?
We're doing good. It's not bad here tonight. It's about 50 degrees.
And sunny.
The sun just came out. Go figure.
Just for you guys.
Just for us. Now, I'm seeing you guys have better light than us at this moment. Hey, our light's not that great tonight, is it?
That's okay.
Okay, good.
He's been with them.
Because now you're an hour behind us, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Well, we are going to just say hello really quick. I'm going to at least have some people up on the screen. We've got Beto Mansky. That's somebody new. Is that one of your friends?
It is.
It is.
Amazing.
From where?
Brazil.
From Brazil. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay.
Well, hello, Beto.
Beto. Yes. Hi, Pam. Pam is a new viewer tonight. Grumpy TV 12. He comes in. Good to see you in Ontario, Canada. We've got Canadians in here. We've got lots and lots of different kinds of people in here tonight. So this is the question of the hour, right? We have been watching Kermudge in, and they have had a really exciting week, haven't you? What's happened with you guys?
Oh, God.
He's
overwhelmed. We had to go for our last shopping trip for the year, the major shopping trip. I've got to go back in next week to get odds and end construction stuff. But everybody said, "Oh, you need to film that." So I'm like, "All right, I'll film it." I mean, who wants to see somebody shopping?
Apparently, a lot of people.
Over 935. No, I think about 935,000 people want to see that.
I think it's 937.
Hang on, I can give you an exact right this second.
Well, we're always watching your numbers, so.
Well, the numbers can be a little different from point to point.
Yeah,
we're at 939.2.
939.
Wow.
Yeah, it was even higher.
The sub count has gone through the roof. I mean, this time last week we were at 1,350 subs. Now we're at 26,000 subs. And
yes. Oh my goodness.
My fingers hurt so bad by Saturday night replying to comments, and I'm still replying to comments. I'm caught up, but every time I look, there's a whole new batch, which is great. I mean, we're being exposed to a whole new group of people, and
3 new groups.
I'd say 99.9% of them are really nice people, and they're asking questions, they're giving input, but there is that that little percentage of a troll population out there.
Yeah.
Well, haters gotta hate, right?
No, it's okay.
Watch the video.
Yeah, they were.
No, you know what? This is kind of what we've discovered too, and I think we've been really spoiled through our journey because we have most of our subs are people like you two, like so supportive, so kind. It's
Yes.
so rare that we get an odd comment that we just kind of sit and just kind of laugh and, you know,
Yeah.
maybe
Kind of.
it's not ever anything to be concerned about, because I guess maybe they're just out there looking for fun, and you know they don't understand.
Most
So-
of them haven't been too horrible. There were one or two that I had to block because they were just
But
mean.
one or two out
and
of
I don't-
almost
Yeah, 900,000 people.
900,000. That's a pretty good average. That says a lot about good people.
It does.
Yeah, sure
Lots-
does. Yeah,
That is a very funny outlook.
it really does, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah, that
So
is-
when did this all happen? When did you guys go for the shop, and when did you get your video up? Is this a while ago now, or just it all
No.
happened?
It went quick.
only about 2.5 weeks ago we went out on a trip.
Right.
As soon as we got home, I started working on the video. You know, and it takes me.
Well, even before. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We
it
filmed
takes
it.
me a couple days to really edit down a video. If I spend like maybe 2-3 hours a day on it,
Yeah.
and then I got it done, and I was happy, but I wasn't happy. We're always our worst critic.
Absolutely.
Always. I was a professional photographer for years, and I always hated all my stuff. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, that's gorgeous." So I'm looking, I'm like, nobody's gonna watch this. Bruce. And next thing you know, the puppy is losing her baby teeth, so Zeus is trying to play with her mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, but he keeps taking a toy away, and that's why she yelps. She's got
Aw,
the and it hurts her baby teeth coming out.
poor little thing. What an adorable dog. Oh my goodness.
And she's really smart.
The markings on her face are just beautiful.
Funny.
We're waiting to see if he pulls his regular routine when we're doing lives.
Yeah. She's so cute. Oh, Jesse, what's the position change? We actually had to talk about this tonight, about the way we were sitting, and we were just like, let's just do it. Let's get wild tonight. So there we are. Oh, that's so great, though. I loved your video. I thought it was wonderful, and your thumbnail was wonderful with that beautiful train on it.
Oh, it's a good train.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such an interesting life that you guys have out there. So I know your story a little bit, but if you'd share with some of our subscribers, how did you come about living in the wilds of Alaska? How did this all happen?
It's funny because you know what? That's the video I've been working on today.
Oh, no.
It's coming out tomorrow, but
Yeah.
not a problem. I'll give a sneak.
Real
No,
quick.
it's okay. It's okay. It's not like all the people are going to be in here watching this, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I was a shipwright down in Florida. I had my own business. I've owned multiple businesses in the marine industry for the last 40 years. I kept having heat strokes, and Sarah was watching that, and she's like, "We got to do something. We got to find a place in the north for you to be cool in the summertime."
Right.
We looked all around the country for places, small retreat to go to in the summer, and I could have my workers run the company while I was gone, and I can do all the phone calls, bill collecting, stuff like that from afar. Couldn't find anything, and Sarah finally said,
the taxes were horrible. I had a place in upstate New York while I grew up there. And the taxes there are exorbitant. It's like we're paying for the taxes for the city, and the lifestyle is incredibly different.
"Yep, there he goes."
Oh, there's Zeus.
What
So-
a sweet doggy.
He's good.
And there's the other one. Go ahead, finish, Sarah.
Every place we looked, even Wyoming, was high taxes.
That's
Beautiful
surprising.
place, but yeah, I was amazed.
It wasn't horrible
It
compared
wasn't
to other
awful,
places.
but
Right.
gee whiz, for seasonal
Yeah.
property, more than a retired whatever furniture salesperson, dentist assistant, and retired. Well, he wasn't retired at the time.
Yeah,
He was a shipwright,
sh-
which makes
Right.
money.
we couldn't figure out where to go, and Sarah knew that I'd been trying to get here for most of my life,
Right.
and she finally said, "Let's look in Alaska." And I
Yep.
said, "Find the properties." And about a week later,
Him
and
a
she's
list,
got a list that's like a phone
long
book,
list.
and we're sorting through on their tablet, and we found about 6 that we really liked.
Yep.
And then we couldn't find a real estate agent to deal with us.
No.
"Oh, you're from Florida. You're just tired because you're not serious. You're not serious." I'm like,
Right.
"Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
And then we found a real estate agent that would work with us. And she's like, "When are you coming up?" And I said, "Give me 10 minutes." And they called back and said, we'll be there. Well, we'll be there Friday night, but we'll be in that area on Saturday.
He called a airline and made a flight.
Yeah, right then and there.
And we'll be there.
And this is during COVID.
Wow.
So we actually, out of Orlando, Florida, round trip for two, under $800.
Yeah.
How
Now-
did you do that?
Oh, you can't even think about that flight for under
No.
$1,000 for one.
Yeah, yeah.
And we came up, we looked at the property, and this was actually the first property we looked at. And both of us always had a rule of thumb, never buy the first property.
Mm-hmm.
But when we came on the property, it felt like home.
It really did.
It just,
Aw,
I already knew what was going to be where. It was amazing.
really?
yeah. And we made
Really?
the offer, it was accepted. And that's when they found out it was on, they told us that it was on the show Railroad Alaska.
Which we had no clue.
Well, I had seen it, but it didn't
I'd never
dawn on
even
me.
seen on it.
So
Oh.
we started thinking afterwards.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we got back to Florida. Sarah had already talked to a friend just in case we found the right property. You know, we were both had talked that if it's the right property, let's just sell everything and
buy it.
go.
Yeah.
So she called her real estate agent and listed the house before we got back. By the time we got back, it was listed 48 hours. Her house is sold
Oh,
Wow.
over asking price. I had to finish up a number of contracts that I had on
Right.
boats.
He was still working like mad.
Yeah, I was still working full time, and I sold my big 38 footer. I sold the small fishing boats, stuff like that, canoes, all the junk that we had. We had a huge estate sale,
Mhm.
and we did really good on that.
That helped.
And then on, I think it was August 1st or July
It
31st,
was August 1st. We pulled out of.
we pulled out of
Punta
Punta Gorda and
Yep.
drove to Seattle.
Gorda. Not in one day.
No, we actually took our time. It took us about 6-7 days to drive
Yeah.
out there. You know, we drove through most of the Midwest. We got to the North Dakota, and that's when we slowed down. You
Yep.
know, I used to ride a motorcycle, so we went into Sturgis. We
Yep.
hung around Sturgis for a little bit. We went to Mount Rushmore,
Yep.
Crazy Horse, things like that,
Oh, it
and
was
then went further west and sent the truck up on a ship.
Wow.
Flew
That is,
me too and Zeus
Yep.
on up to Anchorage. It was
my goodness. And so how big is your property there then?
We are just over 4 acres, but we're surrounded by, we only have one property touching us. Other than that, about 30,000 acres around us. So it's-
Whoa.
So
state.
you're remote.
We
oh,
are
yes,
indeed.
We are remote. The only way to us is either by helicopter, boat,
Train.
or a train.
And the boat is
It's about a 2-hour
Iffy.
ride on a boat.
iffy.
And it depends on the time of year.
Oh, wow. So when you got off the train, you had that, was it a 1.5 mile trail ride on your side by side?
We're,
Just a
well,
while.
it depends on which trail you go. If you go
Right.
the upper trail, it's right around a mile. If you go the lower trail, because it loops back around, it's about 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles.
To your actual home from there.
House. Yep.
Okay. Wow. That is just, what a fun video that was. That was really a great one. And of course, that's going to be taking everybody to your channel. And now you've got
Yes.
all these new friends. So
Absolutely
Yes.
amazing.
It's been a wild ride for the last couple of days. Let me tell you that.
oh, wow.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer couple.
Yeah, we're so happy for you. We literally, because Rob had actually said, hey, he'd sent me a little message and just said, hey, check out our video. I'm wearing the gear, or, we're sending some love. So
Yeah, this one.
Yes, yes.
It was just a couple hours later is when it really started going cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah. And so we were watching those numbers get higher and higher and higher. And we were going, oh my word. So things really do. Yeah, they really happen like this. So now you've got do you have another time in October that you have to go in, or is this it for the winter?
I'm actually, because I forgot a number of things and some stuff wouldn't fit into the truck with all the stuff
Yeah.
we had in there.
Yeah.
I have to go down and get boxes of screws, basically construction materials or, accoutrements, I guess.
Yeah.
I
little
need to
extra.
get flue for my Nordic oil drip stove that I'm putting into the workshop, because we're actually moving all of our generators into the workshop, because last year I had a problem with one of the generators spewing oil when it was sub-zero out there.
It was bad.
Oh,
My Yanmar diesel that's in the other building after we had started it, we were having a windy day, and the wind blew out the plastic window and froze the engine. It was negative. That was our coldest day. It was negative 35, and it messed it up so bad that diesel's now spewing, or oil's spewing out of the diesel injector. So I've got to rebuild.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not something I'm not familiar with. I'm good with diesel engines. Forget about 2 strokes, some 4 strokes. If they're bigger, little lawnmower stuff, I'm kind of iffy with. I'm used to things that are in boats.
Oh.
I'm not used to any engines. So.
You're gonna be.
You will be.
I gotta learn it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about leaving. I mean, we have to leave this year. We didn't want to leave so early, right? But with his accident, we've kind of been forced to. So yeah, that was yeah. We're so happy he's sitting here, and he's looking pretty bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
3 weeks today.
Boy. And you broke 7 bones?
8, 8 bones.
8. Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
No.
Not fun
I
at all.
don't recommend it.
I know all about broken ribs. It was about 6 months before we left. I was working on a big Sea Ray, and I had to change the water pump out on it. And I'm laying across the block of the engine, and there's only about that much space between the top of the engine and the deck. So I'm laying in there, and I'm trying to break the nuts free, and I pulled so hard I heard pop.
Ooh.
Oh.
I broke a rib on top of the engine block, and my client had to drag me out by my feet.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I had to go to the doctors. Luckily, a friend of mine's a chiropractor with all the x-ray machines. I'm not going to go to the doctor's office or hospital and spend $5,000 when I can just go over to his office, have him do an x-ray on me. Is it broken or not?
They don't do anything for ribs anyway anymore.
Right.
So
I broke 1 bone in my whole life, and it was this little pinky. But it was this one right here, and it had 2 pins in it and a cast.
Oh, you really broke it.
Here, I'm very thorough.
She is.
Here.
It
hurt it. It was just like in the movies. Whoa.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, so if something were to happen, I mean, we never want that, but you would have to go out by helicopter as well. Is that right? Or do you have a plan?
Well, Alaska, for people that are living remote like us, you can actually get a plan, I guess you would call it, to services like, I think it's Alaska Angel Flight or something like that. Well, they'll fly out and pick you up. But you have to choose. You have to choose the correct one, because some are airplanes only. We don't have a runway.
No.
If there is
it has to be chopped.
If it's inclement weather, they're not coming. If it's bad, we can always call the train and they'll send a high rail up for us.
Yes, they will.
That's
really good.
Yeah, they're good about that. That's what happened to Jim James when he blew his hand off, the guy that was on a TV show with our property.
Yeah.
He shot himself. They put it in a tourniquet, and they called the train. The train came, picked him up, took him to the hospital, or took him to town, and the ambulance met him there.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
What happened to him in the end?
Unfortunately, Jim passed from cancer. About a year or 2 after the show was over. He was, you could see it in the TV series over the 3 years. His health was declining.
He was great.
He was getting a really great holler to him. And afterwards, I didn't think anything about it until we bought the property.
I didn't have a clue. I'd never seen the show or anything.
Yeah. Is it still somewhere that you can look at it? Because it would sure be fun to watch a show from off your property.
It's on Amazon. I think you have to buy it, but there are other places you can watch it online. But I know Amazon, we have it on there.
Yeah, it's a riot.
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's a typical reality show.
Yeah, right. Not that real.
It's some of it is staged, some of it's just done for fun.
Yeah.
Some of it's based loosely on reality.
Yeah. But a number of the people that were on the show are still in the area, and we're friends with a number of them. The main engineer, Bill Bivens.
He's wonderful.
He runs the hurricane train in the summertime, and I think he might have been 1 or 2 of our videos just helping out getting off the train. And he's a really good guy. He's actually been with the train one of the longest out of all the engineers.
Was his name Bill?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because you had mentioned his name on your most recent one there. So yeah.
You're so good with names.
That's crazy. Well, that is just so much fun. And we're so happy for you two. What are your plans for the coming weeks?
Get ready to go to town.
Yeah, he's got to go. I'm not going out again until
Let
spring.
me put them outside for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just they're just wild.
Yeah.
I would rather stay home. It's
Yeah.
tiring to go to town, but we do miss. I do miss seeing our friends in town. But some of them, because Talkeetna is such a tourist area, a lot of our friends are out of town in summer. Our probably best friends in town are
In Talkeetna.
Talkeetna are going to Hawaii. They're there now, and then they winter in
Mexico and North
Mexico
Carolina.
and North Carolina.
Oh, nice. Oh, they've got a wonderful life.
They do.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful life. They work day and night.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful. They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
Rob, you mentioned you can get to your place by boat. Which water course do you take?
If you're careful and lucky.
Yeah, we're actually down right where our stop is at the tracks, probably about 120 feet or so into the woods is one of the sloughs that goes to the Susitna River.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's a big river.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
always freeze.
Yeah, our first winter here, it was
frozen.
perfect for riding snow machines on. It was perfect sheet of ice all the way down.
Mhm.
Last 2 years,
No.
no, it had a lot of open water on it.
Even at minus 35.
Yeah, there was a death.
Yeah, there
This
was
last
a couple
winter.
deaths last winter on the
Yeah.
ice.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a bit risky then, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were planning on coming back in.
Mhm.
And, we're going to get snowmobiles and all of that. What do they call them nowadays? Sleds?
Here
Well-
they call them snow machines.
Yep. It's a
But
snow
that-
machine.
That may be just a
That's an Alaskan thing.
local term.
Yeah, I'm
Snow
from the olden days. Because
Mhm.
where I grew up, we called them, call them skidoos, actually.
Ski-Doo.
Sure. Yeah, they used
Skidoos.
snowmobiles.
Yeah.
There was a magazine, Snowmobile Times, when I
Yeah.
first was introduced to snowmobiles, and that was quite cute.
I cannot wait to do that. But what brought that up was we were told the other day not to come through a particular area because it's an area that never freezes, even though it looks as though it is frozen.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
go
don't-
over that, you may not come back up.
Yeah, you better
It's
be
probably-
going 60 miles an hour.
It's probably got
Right.
springs under it. We
Probably.
have about a 400 yard by 200 yard across lake by us, and I've paddled across it a number of times with Sarah and a few other friends.
Right.
And you can, every 100 feet, you're seeing spring wells coming up. That water flows year round. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how cold it is, just like where our spring comes out of the ground and they kind of meet together, then go out to the Sioux.
Mhm.
That water, no matter what, is always around 50 degrees.
Right.
The
Oh,
lake
wow.
will flow over in places and you can ride
Right.
on it, but not early. It's got to be
No.
the tail end of February
Right.
before you're getting on that lake to ride a snow machine.
Right.
And personally, I won't do it. I'm
no.
not risking myself.
No, there's no. I mean, I tell you, you really think twice, don't you, after you've had any accident at all? I bet
Oh, yeah.
when you were out sailing, you had little mishaps from time to time.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't know I raced sailboats for a long time.
You raced them.
Yeah, I raced them. I was a foredeck man. I had worked the jib, the spinnakers, stuff like that. And I can't count how many times I've either been thrown off the boats or been hit across the face with booms or had the sheets come by and hit me in the face or get tangled around limbs. I mean, I've dangled upside down off the sides of boats. I don't know how many times now.
Oh my.
But everybody thinks, oh, it's sailing, it's low action. Come sailing with me.
Yeah. No, like the Christopher Cross song. We're sailing. No, not so much.
That sounds exciting, actually.
Well, when you're cruising, cruising is different. I mean, I've got thousands of miles cruising where, you got the autopilot on, you got the sheets and all that set to a certain degree of angle, and you just go. And I'll sit there, I'll read a book, I'll take naps, stuff like that. When you're sailing, it's nonstop because you're looking for the wind. As my job at the bow of the boat, I'm looking for where the air movement is. And when you're out there, you learn how to read the water. Because
Yeah.
if you see a ripple over there, and if you watch long enough, you'll see if it's coming towards you or going away from you. If it's coming for you, you got to tell the captain either, move this way or this way to be able to catch the wind the best. You're kind of a tactician when it comes to doing all that.
Wow. When did you start doing that for a line of work?
Well, it wasn't a line of work. It was more of a hobby.
Oh, it was.
But
Oh,
your repairs.
When I
became-
started doing it as a line of work, I was out west in California for a long time, was in Colorado for a little while. And then when my mom had a car wreck, I went down to Florida to help her. I bought a sailboat, being a sailor, I've always sailed. And then I'm paying people to work on my own boats. And next, my diver's like, clean your own boat. You've got your dive gear. So I started doing it. And the next, all my neighbors are calling me to clean their boats. That turned into a huge business. Then I had a car wreck. That was bad.
Oh, yeah.
I sold the company and I actually started up a tea herb and spice company. And that went really well for a number of years.
Much less strenuous.
Yeah, a lot less strenuous. After about 5-6 years, I wanted back in the marine industry and I started my last company up.
Yeah.
oh, what an interesting life.
He has had.
I'm not afraid to try things. A lot of people are afraid to take it.
That's like me. I'm not afraid to try things.
It's like all of us here, I think, sitting here. I mean, look where we live, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, oh wow, that's really really fun. I think you guys have got an exciting journey ahead of you on YouTube as well, because people are going to be following your story like crazy now.
Yeah,
Amazing.
this isn't my first go around with YouTube.
I didn't know that.
Years and years ago, this is my third channel. Years ago, I had an outdoor gear review and shooting channel for like air guns. I was a high pressure PCP air rifle competitor. I did long range shooting and I did field target. So I had one for that. And at one point I had over 30,000 subs. And then
nowhere near
some
what
of
he's got now.
some of the mass shootings happened and YouTube kind of came down on anything that had to do with guns, knives, weapons like that.
Right.
And they wiped out my channel. They wiped out everything.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And then they come back 6 weeks later and said, okay, you guys can go back to doing what you're doing. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time to do it again. Where you're just going to do it to me in 6 months when I got all this money coming in and you just killed it. I actually, after we got here, I got a letter in the mail from YouTube saying, oh, we owe you some money because there is a, what do they call that? So some kind of lawsuit basically where everybody's
right.
A what?
Class action?
Yes, a class action lawsuit
yes.
against them for not paying stuff like my channel.
Mm.
And I actually just said, don't worry about it because the last check was only like $80.
It wasn't worth your time.
And then I had a small one for the sailing and stuff like that. And I never really pushed it. It was just something I did for when I had time. Because I was, when I had
didn't have a lot of time.
I worked 24/7 pretty much. If I wasn't working on somebody else's boat, I was buying or getting free boats, rebuilding them and selling them for profit. So it was kind of hard to do.
So do you have a boat now then on your property there?
We got a canoe.
We have it needs work.
It needs work.
A leak. Yes.
Oh.
And it gets us across the lake and back. And
Well, that's all you need then. That's all you need then, hey?
It's all we need. It's all we need. We're not going to take it out on the river. The river is just dangerous.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
I want a raft to go down the river.
Well, I've been up the river once. We came from Talkeetna to here the last trip
That's
up with all
another
our stuff.
story
It's
in
another
itself.
story.
Oh, wow. My goodness. We
We've
have
had years.
we have that little skiff, and so many people have said, I think you guys might need a bigger boat,
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe, maybe not. But
yeah, but we don't have docks out. So, we really can't get a decent boat until we have docks. This one you can just scroll right into shore or go to the barge. But
right.
it's all
Floating
we need.
docks are really easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Our barge is our dock for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, that's true.
And it works.
Exactly. It works,
works.
just fine.
Look
So the
and
moose hunt this year, what happened with the moose hunt?
No.
Well,
Zeus.
you're gonna have to
This
go.
is what he does every time we have a live.
I know, and that's what Opal does too. So she's not around tonight.
Yeah, we locked her up.
No.
Where do you put her when she's? Oh, well, you're not on the. Are you on the island now?
We're on the island. Yeah,
You're on the island.
You know-
yeah. I see all the windows. Good.
we are. We're still on the island. We were going to go back right away. Today I said to Ryan, should we just like try and stick it out a bit longer? He does have a doctor's appointment that we have to go back to. And, you know, he can ride around in Pepper, and has been roaming around in there. But we can't do the same things that we would have wanted to do, unfortunately, after this last
I have to take it pretty slow, but I'm still able to do it.
I bet.
No, you got to be careful, Ryan.
Yeah, I am. I don't want it to linger for the rest of my life.
No, you do not.
You have too much to do.
I still have issues with my back from my wreck that I had 14 years ago.
Right.
But
it's hard.
because of keeping myself moving.
Yes, keep moving.
You know,
Not
I
too
stay
hard.
good. If I sit around, which I don't do well, more than a day, I start hurting. But as soon as I start moving, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always take walk breaks. I'll walk to the end of the island and back. You know, I try to do that twice a day, and that keeps things lubricated.
Exactly. Woo.
Yeah. So, I mean, these things you just have to be so cautious about. It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
You have to heal really, really well before you start stressing those areas that are broken.
You were asking about the hunt.
Yes, the hunt.
I hunted pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And we had seen a lot of moose the whole time prior to hunt season. Now we have one of the shorter.
That's where they get the schedule.
Yeah, we have one of the shorter hunt seasons in Alaska in this hunt unit.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some of the harder laws. Our moose, like most, have to be 50 inches across on the antlers. And ours have to have 4 brow tine, and I think there's only 1 or 2 others that have to have 4 brow tine as well. The rest are all 3. So to find one in that 4 range is pretty difficult because that's an older moose.
And they're tough.
Yeah. So the other alternative is to find one that's 50, which is hard, and it's hard to judge. And then you can get a spike, mishka, or a fork. And to find those is even harder.
But they're yummy.
This area.
We did find out why the restrictions are so
high
severe
here. We have one of the highest populations of black bears
in the state.
Oh, wow.
And black bears are notorious for eating baby moose. We had 6 to start with this year. We're down to 1.
Oh dear.
Oh,
and
no.
Right in our
within
area,
a mile of the house.
Yeah.
And if you saw the last critter video we did, there was one black bear that looked like one of the brown bears down at Ketame. His belly was so distended and hanging down, it was stupid. So I know who's been eating the babies. He doesn't get that fat off fish up here because we don't get that many fish that come that close to the river. So when I went hunting, I wasn't having any luck. Our friend Adam and Phyllis come up from Alaska, cut the cord, who probably are in the chat room being quiet, came up.
Hi, guys.
And we walked around a lot. We didn't see anything. At one point, at the point that they were leaving, we saw tracks everywhere. We came across wolf tracks, bear tracks, moose tracks. The night they were leaving, we're down by, there's one area where there's a clearing. We see a spike come across, followed by a cow. We had been hearing something across the river, stomping around the water, and there was a magpie. The birds will tell you where there's an animal. So Adam starts calling, and we're both sitting there, and we have our rifles. And just as about to getting ready to start coming across out of the woods again, where we could see them in the clearing, you hear whoop whoop. Here come the train to pick them up.
Oh no!
Oh.
No more moose.
No more moose.
Then the following weekend, Adam came up alone. Phyllis had some stuff she had to take care of. I would go down to the tracks, pick Adam up. We get to the house on a side-by-side. I run to the house to get son. Sarah's over there talking with him, and everybody stops, and you could hear a grunt. And it's a bull. It's a bull grunt.
like over the hill.
We couldn't tell
in
where
front
it
of our
was at the
house
time.
exactly.
It's
a bit
their calls
away.
sound like it's quite far away.
Yeah.
So Adam calls a couple of times, and I think it responded once or twice, and then nothing. And I think we stood around for probably about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah.
And we said, let's go down
Let's go
where we
down
were
and
the
see.
other day. Well, we seen one.
Yeah.
Dumb
'Cause-
mistake. He was, if you could walk straight out off that porch where the hill is and then down, it's about 200 feet straight out and about 80 feet down. And that's where it was.
And there it was. Well, with
We
all the
came-
evidence.
Yeah,
of
we
it.
came across the tracks and we're coming back.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Oh no.
it happens. You know?
Yeah.
This is my third year hunting up here. And I'm still learning. I'm used to whitetail on the East Coast.
Way different.
They're just
Way different.
they get,
Oh,
they're
they
gone.
do. They do get the memo.
Yeah, they get the memo too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so we kind of, shot ourselves in the foot with that one, unfortunately. So
Oh.
next year
funny.
we're going to try to plan things a little differently, Adam and I and Phyllis and Sarah, and we're going to see about going to other areas because you can hunt outside your zone.
Yes.
I didn't want to hunt inside this zone, or I didn't want to hunt outside this zone because if we get a moose, we're going to split
gotta
it with
haul it.
our friends. I've got to get 300 to 500 pounds of moose meat back
On the
Oh.
train.
on the train. I'm going to need bigger coolers. Mishka,
Yeah, bigger coolers.
no. I'll
And
let
heaven-
him in.
Yeah, and heaven knows we would end up giving everybody who works for the train.
Yeah, exactly.
Groups. Oh, which bag was that? Oh,
The one that was up there.
oh,
You're bad. You're bad.
Yeah.
Aw. What kind of dog is the new little one?
She is an Australian and English Shepherd mix.
Such a pretty dog.
Yep.
Isn't she funny?
It's
So
good.
adorable.
All her siblings had the classic Aussie white face mark,
Yeah.
and she was Merle to the extreme.
Yeah. She's got
That's
a lot of movement.
the 3-color kind of
Oh,
business
okay.
going on. And
Oh,
when we
yeah.
got her, it wasn't very well defined. She was just a lot of colors going on and all blending kind of together. And as she gets older,
Look at that
it
face.
look at that.
Look at that
face.
little face.
Can you see all her colors on her face? And
Oh, she's cute looking. Eh?
she's smart.
Too smart.
Smart. Is she?
Smart.
Yeah.
There. Aussies are smart.
She had
In general.
she had sit figured down in about half a second.
Oh yeah. I
Really?
had-
How old is she?
Hand. And I said, sit. And she, boom. Oh boy.
Really?
Command,
Yeah.
one command. Boom, done.
How old
Yeah.
is she?
5 months.
5
Not even
months.
5 months.
Not even.
Oh my word. Opal never figured that out for, well, how long have you had her now?
Well, she didn't really like me for a year and a half.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I've had dogs like that.
Zeus
Yeah.
like Rob immediately.
I actually, for a while, my friend Jody and I, we trained medical service dogs. And the first dog that Jody got me was a shepherd, elf.
Oh.
And she would literally skirt the room to get away from me.
Mhm.
And it
Wow.
took me about a year, and she finally got used to me. But she turned out to be one of the best dogs I'd ever had. She went
Oh.
everywhere with me, and in the end, she went to a home that needed her. Yeah,
Yeah.
The service.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
Oh. Is there anything you haven't done, Rob?
I was going to ask the same question.
I haven't taken a flight to the moon yet.
Oh, okay.
Don't.
No,
Oh,
I've
my-
been adventurous. My father taught me do things. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to do things. Try things. Go out
Yeah.
and experience life.
Yeah.
So I've flown. I know how to fly. I don't have a pilot's license, but I can fly.
Most
can
of the
fly.
pilots in the Alaska don't have licenses.
Well, we just heard though that this last week that Alaska is the most dangerous
It is.
place to fly. Small planes.
Probably.
They actually just found a plane wreck to someone that just crashed recently in one of the rivers,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
he's
no.
no longer with us,
Yeah, right.
unfortunately. And that happens quite a bit up here. The gentleman that flew our stove in here,
Yes.
that summer he died in a helicopter crash fighting the fires. It
Oh,
is
no.
He was really good.
Yeah,
he was a
a
real pro.
dang good pilot.
excellent.
Oh, that's so tragic.
It
It
is.
is. Rob built. Rob asked how big a space he needed to.
How close?
to-
No, I asked him, how close could you get it to my
can-
house? He
Can you
says,
get the stove to
I
the
can
house?
put it on your front deck if you want. I said, so if I build a platform off the back deck, you can set it there? He goes, yep. So I built the landing pad.
He built it out of
55-gallon drums.
old
wood.
drums and wood. And the guy got it on there, and it was a windy day. There was almost an incident, but
Yeah, well,
not
that
quite.
was
That was due to the wind.
That was 2 days after we had a major windstorm here where we
Major.
had 100-mile-an-hour winds. Our greenhouse was trashed. Everything was trashed all the way down to Palmer. I mean, planes were upside down.
Oh, upside. Yeah.
I called him because we already had the date, and I'm like,
Do
are you still
Are
coming?
you still going to be able to
He
do
goes,
it?
oh, yeah, my helicopter's fine. I'll be there.
And he did it, and that trip was fine. But firefighting is a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But he was
hard
an
to see with smoke.
amazing.
Not only that, it's the updrafts and downdrafts that'll get you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Right.
that's really
Yeah.
tragic. My goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
It's not an easy place to live for anybody.
But that is another resource we have, because we've had 3 helicopter deliveries of large pieces. The wood stove for the cabin that we rent out, the sofa that I bought, not thinking clearly and knowing exactly. I said, oh, that's the one I want, and I'm going to have it.
So
And then the stove, which was what, 900 pounds packed up with its packaging.
packaging, it was 1,200.
12. Huge. So
Well, that's an Obadiah, right?
Yes, it is.
it is an Obadiah. It's a wonderful stove.
yeah. Yeah.
I like it more each year.
I want to get one of those for our forever cabin.
Well, we had talked about it and we'd looked into it, but of course at that time it was the big C. And so it was hard to get anything. And they said that it was going to take what, like 2 years or something to get it. So we were like, well, I mean,
Right? That's 2 years. You've got those 2 years to figure
Well,
it out.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if they're still making the Obadiah 2000.
But
That was
they are.
especially made for Obadiah's wood stoves in Montana. That was a design they come up with, and the Amish built it. But it was made by Hecco, and Hecco is in business in Pennsylvania, and it's a spitting image of their stove. However, what I would say is, depending on how big your cabin is going to be,
Right.
size it
can
appropriately.
be too big.
and then find one that's the most efficient wood burning. This one's actually pretty good for the size. I mean, it's got a huge firebox, but it'll burn overnight, even on just spruce,
Mhm.
which is good. But
Wow.
you don't get one that's too big, because then you're gonna have to choke it back too much at nighttime.
And then
You can wind up
you
with a
build
fire.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
build
mean, we last year, and we caught it
Mhm.
just as it was happening. And that was
Oh,
all summer. It was a cool summer, so when I started cooking, I had to keep the fire back to a certain point, so it just built up with all that creosote.
Right.
And since then, now we're on a regimen. The first of every month,
Right.
I clean the flue, whether it needs it or not. I
Yeah.
will not leave the house again.
Right. Yeah.
wow. Oh, that would be
It's on a
terrible.
video, too.
That's on, yeah.
Not the fire, but you know,
No,
we're
But
talking about it.
the new system,
Yeah.
which is superb. And we've gotten some hints from other YouTubers and people who have the experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
How
There's
to do it.
hurricanes right now, aren't there? And some strong ones, like Brenda Walker says, in Florida at the moment. So,
Oh, yeah. The hurricanes and tornadoes in Florida.
Well, no
Oh.
hurricane. It's north.
Oh, well, no.
It hasn't hit yet. But yeah, no, we've been getting texts from friends and family down there. Like my best friend and my brother, John Hogan, is down there.
Mhm.
And my friend Jeff is in Punta Gorda. And I was texting him earlier, and the water was 2 feet over his seawall on the harbor.
Mhm.
So the water's coming in pretty hard.
oh dear. Well, our thoughts are with all of you guys in Florida and in that area. Yeah, hoping that things will be okay. Oh my goodness. It's either storm or accident, or it just seems like there's a lot happening right now.
Yes,
There's a lot
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, we're talking about stoves. What did it cost to rehab the stoves that we, oh yeah.
Those
Oh,
stoves, you
those
know,
stoves are adorable. That
Thank
one, the prettiest stove I think I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so pretty. I mean,
So
it sure wasn't that when we got it, but we got it at an auction, and it didn't look very nice at all. But I thought, you know what? I bet you it's cute.
Yeah.
And then Sean over at Vintage Stove in is it Didsbury, Alberta?
Didsbury, yeah.
Yeah, he did it up nice, and wow, yeah, he did a beautiful job. He's got another one of ours too. I mean, we only paid. Yeah, he does. We haven't had it done because it just feels like it's cost prohibitive to do it right now. So we'll have to wait for a bit. Hey.
Yeah.
But that guy does a wonderful job.
When you guys picked it up, I was like, oh my.
It's
it's a showpiece.
Do you mean when we first got it, or when we actually picked it up from?
You picked it back up from him.
It back up from him, from the restoration guy.
Us too. We were, oh my word. Yeah. And now, I mean, it's sitting here and it's
keeps us warm.
It keeps us warm.
Oh, I bet it does.
For this size of cabin, it's only tiny. It's just 12 by 16 that we live in.
Perfect.
And it's nice and cozy and a little too cozy sometimes. Hey, too warm.
Oh yeah. I mean,
but it'll grow. My first cabin in the woods was 16 by 20, 16 by 24. I can't remember. But then we bought a property adjoining our property. This was my first husband who died of cancer. We was a while back, but thank you. And my dad lived in the area, my mom and dad, and he had a friend with a bulldozer, and they dragged it up through the woods, the second cabin that was on the second property that we bought. So that gave us 50 acres and 2 cabins. And I said, well, they don't have to be lined up. I don't want them lined up anyway. They don't really match. Just put one way and one the other way. Leave the one where it is. And my dad got to the end of it, and he said it started tipping and tipping and tipping, and then he said, right there. And then my brother-in-law and a whole bunch of people came and built a building in between that was the living room. And it ended up with 3 16 by 24 buildings attached.
Yeah.
And we ended up with 100 acres.
Yeah. We love this house, but sometimes we look at it as it's too big.
Yeah,
smaller
this house
easier to heat and
a
cool.
little big. Yeah.
And sometimes we look around like we need more space.
We need more storage space.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at
we know about storage space.
Yeah, you will be amazed at what you need to store.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, this house here is 1,960 square feet under the roof.
It's big.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
Really
it's huge for being in the bush.
It's huge for almost anywhere.
But parts of it are where there's waste walls where the eaves come down, and we're gonna it's getting walled off, and it's walled off in all but 1 or 2 places, and it's all gonna be storage back in there. But our issue is lack of storage for things we need to get to on a daily basis.
Yes.
Like in our studio.
Right.
My camera gear, my shooting gear, stuff like that. I need places to have that because right now it's either in boxes, gun boxes, and stuff like that. And it's just like, I got to get this organized better.
Even our winter coats take up more room than the closet space downstairs by the back door.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, try living in a 12 by 16, and all of your little things are in bins under your bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We're like, oh, but you know what though? I honestly feel like I don't need much more than this. Now Ryan wants the space. But I'd be totally happy here, always, in just a little 12 by 16.
You need a man shed. You need a man
shed. Yeah, that's the stuff. His stuff. We have so much stuff in this house, and every bit of it gets used.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys were a little on the lucky side when you guys got there wasn't as much stuff as there was here.
Oh, we have 3 owners worth of stuff here. Jim James and Jim and Nancy, the guy who bought from them and us.
Yeah.
Everything that has been brought up here
is still here.
Oh my goodness.
We started with nothing.
I've got a V8 engine
with a clean slate.
I've got a V8 engine sitting in my barn.
And what am I
going to use that for? Well, that's a Wisconsin. That's a Wisconsin engine, but it's also hooked up to a drag line, and that will be getting rebuilt.
We found the drag line last summer, not this last summer,
before.
But the summer before. This one we just finished.
The V8, you can make a nice riverboat out of that.
I don't want another boat. 30 plus years of dealing with boats. I'm kind of over boats.
And this river is
it's not
unpredictable.
Navigation.
Yeah. Yeah. The rivers are so dangerous, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They really are.
We almost lost one of our friends this past spring. He was coming down the river, and mind you, this is a brand new boat. The company he had put the motor in it, forgot to put the clamp on the fuel line.
Oh.
And he was coming down the river, and it stalled out. Well, he got it restarted, and then it started on fire. He wound up getting caught up in a log jam, and he's lucky he got out with his life.
Got out alive.
Oh my goodness.
You never know. The summer before, there was a couple that was coming down the river. I think it was one of his neighbors.
Yeah.
They capsized from a log jam, and she perished.
Died. She perished.
Oh no.
River is not the easiest thing to do. You got to be on top of your ball, and you better make sure that your engine is in perfect condition.
I won't go, and I don't want him to go. I will do everything in my power to keep him from going.
That's why I'll raft down. I can control the raft a lot better than that.
I don't want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny, Grumpy. TV12.
A house, 20 by 25, man shed, 30 by 60.
Well, it's in my barn. My barn is, because it's 2-story. Downstairs is 24 by like almost 50.
50.
Wow.
And then upstairs is the same, but half of that upstairs is the greenhouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, that works beautifully.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gets a lot more sun. But at the same time, when the temperatures start dropping, it's going to be the first place to freeze because it's up in the air. So this winter, I've been talking with Adam and Phyllis from Alaskan Cut the Cord about I'm going to put in a wood stove up there, but I'm also downstairs in my workshop. I'm going to put in a waste oil burner that Adam has helped me find all the parts for. So I can burn all of our waste oil here. I've got 200 gallons of diesel on the ground, probably another 50 gallons of waste oil on the ground. So I'm going to use that to heat the shop. Yes. The regular diesel will go into the Nordic drip stove for the machine shop.
Yeah. And you're going to have the same issue. Everything you take to that island.
Well, they've got a barge they can get everything out of there.
Yes, you can get in and out with the barge.
Yeah.
But it's a hassle.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, it's wild. Deborah Snipes, quickly. She's just such a wonderful subscriber of ours, a friend, and she's just concerned about the catastrophic flooding in Western Carolina in the mountains. And so she's concerned. We're thinking of you.
Yes, absolutely.
There's just so many tragedies and so many things happening. And the other day we were saying, every single thing that's on this island we brought here with either our little red skiff, like the 2 red Cabela's chairs and our little can of wieners. That's all that we had when we first got here. And it was
we came with Crocs.
Yeah, we came with Crocs. Oh, God. Kind of bougie homesteaders, right?
Jackie Sailor, we are on the Susitna River. It's about a mile from us.
Yep. Downhill.
Well, if you ask Adam, it's up both ways.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So you have grizzlies around there, I imagine.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. I have not
very often,
but I have seen the tracks.
Sarah and I have seen the tracks numerous times. I've run into the one grizzly down the tracks, and I was waiting for the train, and it was running 2 hours behind. And I called Sarah on the radio, and I'm like, if it ain't here in 5 minutes, I'm out of here. And as soon as I clicked off on the radio, about a 700-pound brown bear come out of the woods, about 60 yards from me, and I turned around, grabbed the 4-wheeler, and I left.
Yeah.
The
tracks are between our property and our trail and the river.
So they
all the bears, they have 2 crossing spaces. One at
it's not down at each end because they go right by our stop all the time. How do you think I get them all on video?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we loved watching your
I like your critter cams.
Your critter cams. Oh man.
Yes.
They're a handful up here. I mean, that one. Yeah. At first, I couldn't figure out why they had an infatuation with that log, and then I realized there's squirrels in it.
Live there.
Oh, because I wondered about that. Yeah, the squirrels.
Now, then that last one there, you see that one that's trying to eat my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She had the big white blaze on her chest.
Yeah.
She is a troublemaker. She's the one Serna and I have had a run-in with a couple times. Three times.
What's her name?
We haven't named her yet. Blaze.
Yeah, something. I don't know, but Pitta.
Yes.
But we were going down to the tracks one day, and we used to, before we got the side-by-side, we always walked to the tracks because Zeus won't ride on the trailer. He won't ride on the four-wheeler.
No way.
So we walk down there, and I always walk ahead.
And I have the dog.
And she's got the dog. And I see something fly across the trail, and I realize it's a small cub.
Yes.
And I hear it crashing to the woods, and all of a sudden I see Mama stand up and a second one go up a tree. And she's huffing and puffing at me, and I gave her a couple warnings.
And Zeus is going back to the cabin.
Yeah, he's trying to go back to the cabin.
Me on the other end of the
And then one cub finally came flying back across the trail towards Mama, and she stood up, and there's that big old V.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll remember you. And I gave her another warning, and she ran off. She looked up at the cub in a tree. They're the prior year's cubs, so they're ready to get booted out anyways. She looked up at him, looked at us, and ran. I mean, I said, well, we're going to hang here for a minute. And it's this time of year, so you can see down into the woods. All the foliage is dropped. And she's probably about 200 yards away. I said, okay, let's just go underneath that one. And she's like, you sure? I said, he's up there crying. He's not coming down.
He's a crybaby.
We got to the tracks, and we were at the tracks for almost 40 minutes. And the whole time we hear,
Baby.
And then he disappeared. Then it was about 2 months later. We're here at the house, and I have ICB tanks. You know what those are?
No.
It's like 300-gallon tanks with cages around them for liquids.
Oh, right.
Oh, we've seen those. Yeah.
One of our friends owns the Denali Brewing in town, and he gave me 4 of them to use for water catchment here in case there's ever a fire. So I had to stock water.
Perfect.
I had them down by the outhouse soaking and trying to percolate to get all the mash out of them so they wouldn't stink.
We don't use the outhouse.
Yeah.
And I see this this little black bear, or big black bear with her paw in it, and she's up to her shoulder trying to get to the mash. And I'm like, oh. So I grab my sidearm, and I go over to the cabin, and our ferns here are ginormous. I mean, they can get 70 feet tall.
Really?
So ferns part like this where she's walking, and I'm like, okay, she's going to pop up over here, and I make a noise to try to startle her to see if she'll stand up. And instead of her standing up, a cub went up the tree. And next thing you know, she stands up, and don't you know, it's Mrs. Blaze, as Sarah calls her. I'm like, she's been back one other time, but she got chased off pretty quickly. Now she doesn't have a cub, so this spring she'll have cubs again. So we've really got to keep her away from the property, because if the mama teaches the babies, they're going to be here.
Yes, and we don't feel good about doing away with a mama bear when they're a baby.
Well, you can't; it's illegal.
Yeah,
But I don't. I'm not a fan of killing anything indiscriminately. I'd rather shoo them away. Yes. Now, if they're a nuisance and they're getting into problems, hurting the house, hurting the animals, that's different.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. Like, we're almost out of time, and we've got literally just a couple of seconds, and we
didn't ask any of the questions you wanted to ask.
I know. Our Flashback Thursday, what we were going to say. Oh, our channel is mywildholm.com. Thank you for asking. And we were going to be talking about cars and trucks in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And we wondered what was the best-selling vehicle of your year of birth. So mine was the Corvette. What was it?
Stingray.
The Stingray.
Viper? No, just Corvette Stingray.
No, mine was just a second. Okay. Yeah, it was Chevy Corvette Stingray was mine. His is the Chevy Impala. That was the year. Oh, thanks so much, everybody. And oh my, we're getting more and more visitors in here. That's so nice. Awesome time here tonight. Yeah. So quickly put up on the screen what the best-selling car of your year of birth was. It'd be fun to take a look at that. How about yours, Rob? Do you know yours?
Well, it looks like it was the old Cutlass Supreme.
Okay, because we looked at that too. The Cutlass was around that same time. Yeah. And
the coolest guy in my high school had a Cutlass Supreme.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, he had velour seats in it, and a really nice paint job, and dual exhaust, and a 4-barrel carb, and yeah. He was the coolest guy.
Oh, look at Grumpy TV 12 was a 1963 split rear window Corvette. That was his favorite.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
And it looks like Sarah's was the Chevy Fleetmaster.
Never heard of it.
Chevy Fleetmaster.
I'm not
Okay, and what was
saying
yours,
the year
Rob?
'cause I'm not
Didn't
gonna
say
get
the
hit.
year. Yours was easily. My
Thank
first
you one day at a
walk
time, Farmstead. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, look at, they're all coming up now. This is so much fun. Scott Balcomb's was the VW Beetle,
Oh, yes. I
and
love
Joe LeBlanc was the Nova.
Yep. I had a couple of those.
A friend of mine
you.
stuffed a 427 rat in a Nova.
Oh my.
That was unbelievable.
Nice.
great.
He had
I
big
mean,
N50s on the
Norway
back.
Volvo. Cool. Oh my.
Favorite
Well-
cars of all times, like for me, is
Oh, the
I had
Ford
a
Thunderbird.
I had
Oh
a-
God, could be a beautiful car.
69 and a half Roadrunner.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I took the 383 out of it and put a
Chevy
440
Impala,
mag
too.
in it. And that was one of my most favorite cars that I'd ever owned.
What color?
It was
Sort of
petty blue.
green.
It was
Yeah.
petty blue. I did a custom
Oh,
paint job. I went to auto body school when I was 16.
Mm.
I went to
3-inch
Tech school.
rear door.
Okay,
and
so
a-
auto body, shipwright, professional shooter, professional sailor. I mean, this goes on and on. An artist. You probably fly, right? You do fly.
I'm not really an artist. I'm a photographer, but I do fly.
Yeah, you probably got a cape and boots under your bed too, don't you?
No, I trip over stuff like that. Hey,
Anthony
Lord, hey, Sean.
Monsanti has a 63 split window Corvette right now. Look at all these
Oh.
cool vehicles. How fun. Uh-oh. Okay, Lee. Oh, dear. This is not good, these bad storms.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
be thinking of you guys.
Paula's here from the UK.
Yeah, hi, Paula. And I'm so sorry to those that we didn't give a personal hello to, but hugs to all of you.
It's been so nice talking to you guys. I feel like we just started. The
Us
hour
too.
flew by. Yeah.
I know, it's come by so fast. John Conrad, Plymouth Savoy, Max Wedge. Oh, my.
Mm.
Oh, my. A Buick Riviera. Look at this. Oh, boy. We've got to come back and look at these.
Yes.
And we're so sorry that we're going to have to leave you. Cindy Rice said when she was 17, she owned a 72 Chevy Impala.
There you go.
Yeah. And a 77 Camaro, Neil Blonder. My goodness. Oh, and Curmudgeon says, hello, everyone. We did not say hi. They'll have their live on Saturday. Saturday is the only day we can't ever go on lives and watch. And we are so sorry we're going to miss your lovely live. We will watch it after.
We haven't.
Saturday?
No, well, last year we were doing them all on Mondays, and Adam and Phil should follow us, but I started following a lot more different channels, so a lot of them are doing them on Monday. So we're gonna find a night that we can do them, other than Monday nights. Adam and Phil will have theirs on Monday nights. We'll try to do ours a different night. It won't be quite the same as before, because we're followed by them. But
yeah,
we'll find a night and try to stick with it. So that way we can have our live. Adam and Phil's can do theirs. My friends,
and we
General
can watch other
Prospectors,
people.
Jerry Butler from Butler Family Farm with Susan.
Right.
We had so many lives in one night. I'd start on Mondays at like 1 o'clock, and I wouldn't get done until 8, 9. So I had to change a little bit so it wouldn't drive me crazy. Then weekends I got Sean in Alaska when he's in there, and others. You guys on Thursdays. So my dance card gets quite full.
I know. And we so badly want to go to your lives. It's just Saturday is the only day that we aren't on YouTube. So
well, that's
just
fine.
that one day to take.
The weekends we try not to do a whole lot ourselves. We do things that we want. We want to have fun. We go down to the lake. I go gold panning, stuff like that. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, gold panning. I did see a quick question about if we had gold here.
65 Ford Mustang.
Apparently, we have gold very close in a creek not far away, because somebody told us that they had been to our area when they were very, very young, and they found gold in the creek there.
Oh, how fun!
Very nice.
So now we've got to go gold panning.
Yes.
There you go. You'll get the bug.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Nice. So
See you
nice to
Saturday.
visit with you. You guys are wonderful. We're so glad we got a chance to get to know you a little better. And
We'll do this again.
congratulations on the video success.
Thank
Really happy for you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Hugs to you guys. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much.